Hey, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. And as usual, this is the first slide. Okay, with my introduction, I have already created one video on my introduction, right? You can watch that. And today we are going to discuss in a continuation session. Okay, this is going to be the episode number 4 for basic statistics for data science. And these are the list of various topics which we have already covered, right? So I have created a list so that it will be easy for you guys to understand that what are the different topics has been already covered. Okay, so we have done with these many videos. Okay, introduction to myself, that is Pranav Gandhi. My name is Pranav Gandhi, and data science with Python and R curriculum. So whatever curriculum I'm going to cover up, okay, as my regular classes and batches, okay, the brief introduction and the topics information is been explained over here in the second video on my channel. In the third video, we have started with discussing about what is data science and what is machine learning, etc. So for those who are extremely or completely new to the topic and to the subject, okay, this video is going to be very helpful for them. Then fourth video I have created with the explanation of how to download R and R Studio, because R and Python are the languages which we are going to use for a discussion purpose and for understanding and for solving the business cases, the case studies, right? So to say, for data science project related applications and all, right? Then in the fifth video, the discussion is about how to download Anaconda and Spider for Python language. In the sixth video, the discussion is about data types. So here actually this is the first video, that is the sixth one is the first video, which is going to deal with our major agenda topic, and that is basic statistics, right? And in that first video we have discussed what are the different types of data available, right? So data types is explained in detailed way. In the seventh video we have explained some of the data types preliminaries along with random variable and probability. Okay, that is the name for that video is again random variable and probability for data science episode 2. Then next to that, eighth video we have created which is discussing about probability examples, probability distribution, various types of probability distribution. In the ninth video we have we are going to discuss, and that is going to be today actually, right? So in that we are going to discuss about what is sampling and sampling funnel for data science, and that is going to be the episode number 4, right? So let me do some correction in my slide, beg me a pardon. Alright, so the correction has been done. Sorry for that. So this is going to be the 9th video, and in this we are going to discuss what is sampling, why it is being used, what is it called when we do the analysis, the statistical analysis on samples, and different terminologies henceforth we are going to use when it deals with samples, population, something like that, right? So let us begin with our today's session, in which we will understand what is sampling and what is the process, right? Alright, so sampling funnel, if you can see on the screen, it look like this. It has 4 components over here, right? The first one is obviously called as population. And what is population? The population is nothing but the entire information or the entire data, okay, on which we are of course trying to do the analysis or study. What is sampling funnel? You may say it as a logic underwritten to derive the sample, or you can also call it as a filter, right? Underlying conditions to derive the final sample which we want to do the analysis. Then SRS is something called as simple random sampling. Simple random sampling. This is one of the technique, one of the method of doing the sampling. And then finally we have got the sample which is also called as subset of population. Now we are going to discuss all these terminologies in detail. First of all, let us understand what is population. When we call it as an entire data available, or maybe entire data we will say, because availability of entire data is in always question. Most of the times it is not available, right? And that is why we have to do the sample statistics. Why we have to do sample statistics? Because not always the population, that is the entire data, will be available. Example, now in every election we saw there are exit polls, or there are pre-polls, estimate or analysis or statistics they come up with, right? So now that time they are not approaching each and every individual who has voted or who is supposed to be voted. What they are doing? They are collecting a sample data. They are collecting a sample data. So to collect this sample data, which means what? They go into specific areas, regions, district, states. They define their, what should be their sampling frame. Okay. So based on that sampling frame, that is logic of filter, okay, they collect the sample. So if their sampling frame is, suppose, students or housewives or government employees or street vendors, anything, any sort of that, normally you see they will come up with these categories, and they take, when the sampling frame, if suppose they have decided to go for housewives, what is the opinion of the housewife for the current government? What are their expectations and to whom they are going to vote for? This is how they do it. Now, if suppose they want to take the opinion of, say, Ranchi. So Ranchi is one of the city, suppose, in Jharkhand. Now, if they want to go and collect the sample from the housewives who are staying currently in Ranchi area, are they going to collect the sample or the opinions of all the 100% housewives it is extremely difficult. Oh, one may say that it may be not possible to collect all such data. And now when they are doing it for suppose a nationwide survey, if they want to do it for nation, let us say for Lok Sabha election, general elections, is it possible to take the opinions of all the housewives available in the country? It's not possible. So what can they do? Now they have targeted the population is nothing but the people who are going to vote for this particular example. That is, we are discussing about the elections. So the population is the number of voters, or I would say eligible voters. Okay, from that eligible voters, they have to decide. Now, for itself, the eligible voters, do you think the government is having 100% information that this person, every time in the election we see, there are people who are saying that my name is not there. Which means that 100% information about the population is very difficult to achieve. I am going to explain it in different example as well. Right? So whatever information available about the population has been discussed, and we have understood. Now for election, population is number of voters. Now sampling frame is, suppose I want to take the opinions of housewives. Now as we have discussed that taking the opinions from all the 100% housewives is not possible. So what we can do is we can use a sampling technique. One of the sampling technique is random sampling. Right? So I may, and this is very popular technique as well. There are a lot of different sampling techniques. That is, we are going to discuss one by one later on. Okay, as we progress upon our journey, as a special topics. But then, this is a very basic, naive technique which will be used everywhere, not only in data science or something like that. We are using it already in our general applications or general work within the house itself. We are using it, right? Today we are just understanding it theoretically, nothing else, and with a diagram and with some examples, description, etc. All of us know all this, and that is why we call it as basic statistics, right? Many of us probably knowing it, we are doing it as an activity of our regular work, but the thing is that we have not understood it theoretically, or maybe we have learned it long back in the school days or college days, but then we have forgotten. So it's like a brush up of all those things, okay? Because when we will head up ahead, understanding the algorithms and techniques, and then a lot of time we are going to use these terminologies, that is population, sample, sampling frame, or random sampling, etc., etc. So when we use those terminologies, one may, there is a possibility that some of the audiences over here or participants may not understand some of the terminologies or something. So just for general idea is that for all of us, let us cover up and have some brief on that. Okay. So now here we know the 100% information or 100% opinions of all the housewives. To achieve that is most difficult, or it's like impossible. So we use this technique, that is sample random sampling, which means that our people who are doing the survey, they will go in Ranchi area, Ranchi city, and within the city there will be different areas. Okay, from all those areas they will collect maybe 25 samples each. So if they go to one building, They may collect couple of samples or couple of opinions, 2 opinions, let us say, and like that, if they cover 100 buildings, they will be end up with getting 200 opinions. Now this is for one area, and if suppose there are, let's say, 20 areas which are having 100 buildings each, maybe sector wise or something like that, right? So ultimately they will end up getting 4,000 opinions. And maybe the population for housewives over there is maybe 14 lakhs. So this is the entire population. Okay, of this sampling frame, that is housewives only, and among those 14 lakhs housewives, or from those 14 lakhs housewives, we have been able to collect the samples, or what you can say, the opinions of 4,000 housewives by using the simple random technique. Okay, and these 4,000 opinions are nothing but my samples. Is my sample. Now once I arrived at this sample, then on this sample, that is 4,000 opinions, I do my analysis. And when I complete that analysis, now you must have seen it on your channels and all, they will always say that 50% or 37% belongs to ABC party. I am not taking any party names over here. Let us keep it away from the politics and all. 20 or 5%, maybe 5% belongs to PQR party. Maybe another 15% belongs to some SVD party, something like that, and 100% information will be there, and all the distribution of the party votes will be there. But now this 37% or this 100% is, we are talking about only 4,000 votes or 4,000 opinions, not votes. It has not converted into votes. So these are the 4,000 opinions. Okay, this is the percentages of that. But what they say, that from Ranchi, okay, this party is going to win because the population is talking about that ABC is going to win the election. But then the thing over here is, they have not collected the opinions of all the 14 lakh people, all the 14 lakh housewives. But still, after doing the analysis on these samples, or after collecting the opinions on these samples, they are inferring it. They are inferring it to population. That population is talking about this. Ranchi's population is saying this. Ranchi's housewives are talking like this. This is what they come up with. Okay, and this statistical analysis is called as inferential statistics. This is called as inferential statistics, right? So this is what the sampling funnel is. Okay, this diagram is just to remember you the process and all. Okay, but the main terminologies we have learned today are population, sampling frame, SRS, and sample. Population is what? Population is nothing but the entire data or entire information, info or data. Sampling funnel is some logic I will use, a filter. SRS is simple random sampling, and sample is nothing but subset of population. Now, you can take any example. I always famously give this example. Suppose your business problem is measuring the heights of giraffes. So how do you spell it? I don't know. Let me write it like this. So giraffe means I am talking about that animal. Okay. So if suppose I want to calculate the height of these giraffes, so do you think is it possible, or maybe elephants, or maybe any animal for that matter? So let us say horses. So do you think measuring height of all these animals is possible, which are available in the entire world? It's not possible, right? But then that is our population, because they are available, they exist, right? For that matter, even measuring the height of human beings. Now we are not sure how, because even though you try to get the census of all the population available in every country, still one cannot say 100% with 100% assurance that there are only 7 billion people available on planet Earth. No, we don't know. We don't have the 100% information. That is why population information, okay, is very difficult to have or achieve in 100%, right? So now, if I want to measure the heights of horses across the globe, on the planet Earth, what I can do? I can use a sampling frame, something like I will choose probably the continents. So I want to go continent wise, right? Or instead of going city or country wise, I will go with continents, and I will do some random sampling. So I will collect some data from Africa, some from Asia, right? Some from Europe, some from US or that particular continent, right? And after collecting that, probably after getting all those heights of horses, maybe I have 4 or 5 different samples as per the continents. Okay, so 1,000 each. Now aggregating this, okay, or calculating the averages on this, I may come up with some sample statements. I will come up with statements like the average heights of Asian horses is so and so. Similarly, I may have it African horses. Right? But when I am talking about African horses or Asian horses, am I saying that each and every horse is about this height? Maybe 5 feet 6 inches? No, because this is first of all an average, and this average I have got for the sample what we have collected. But I can refer it to the population. Suppose the population, if I am interested in African horses, then I can make this statement that the average height is so and so. From where? From sample. From my sample data. Right? So that is all about sample, population, sampling funnel, etc. Okay, we will continue our discussion in our next topic, which is going to be the measures of central tendencies, in which we will try to understand what are the centralities and what are the different measures available, like mean, median, mode, etc., etc. Okay, for this one, as far as population sample, the random sampling and sampling frame, this much is enough as a brief recap of the terminologies which we have already studied in our school and college days, right? Detailed discussion on further discussion on samples, the different techniques of sampling, right? Or population parameter, sample parameters. Okay. Eventually, they are also going to come one by one as we move forward in our curriculum. So I thank you very much for all of you for joining today's session. I wish you all the best and keep watching these videos. If you like my videos, please like them, and if you have not subscribed my YouTube channel yet, then please do subscribe it, so that and press the bell icon. You know, just beside the subscribe button there is a bell icon. Okay, so press that twice so that you will get all the notifications. Okay, all the upcoming videos notification to you. Okay, and to you can contribute your suggestions and feedbacks as well. We also have our Facebook page. You can search it. I am also going to have it the link has been will be there in the description of this video, right? So you can check the description below. Okay, in that you will get the links for the earlier videos as well. I am going to put it today, and then obviously our LinkedIn page details, our Facebook page details, right? And yeah, so that's it for today. Thank you very much. Bye bye. See you.